Welcome back to another episode of the Bleeding Blue podcast. The boys are back. It's been a while. Not really any excuse. Just been fucking slacking. Just been
Yeah,
slacking. Um, but we're back, and this episode's gonna be fucking insane because we have a lot to go over. So get ready, lock in, because we are on the ride and journey of a lifetime with episode 95 of Bleeding Blue Podcast. And let's get right into it. Ryan, how have you been? You're looking incredible as usual. Um, what's
thank
up?
you. Oh, it's been great. Sad that it's been a while since we've recorded an episode. Busy schedule, summertime, we've been working, lots going on in our lives. So we've had a tough time trying to schedule, time to record and figure out time to, edit it and bring it on YouTube and all the platforms. But glad to be back. Been busy with working and, um, you know, other things going on. So, but yeah, I'm excited to be back and talk Blue Jays, and frankly, the best time to be a Blue Jays fan in past few years. So, uh, very happy to be on the podcast once again.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a good time. We've missed a lot of different things that have gone down. Obviously, free agency. Sorry, let me just turn on my volume. Free agency has gone down for the Leafs and made a couple of not really signings. I don't know if they're going to be a big signing. I'm still waiting on that. It doesn't look like there will be though. Um, and it's not as big as last year. I felt like last year there was a lot more big players to be named and signed, but traded Marner away to the Vegas Golden Knights, which is an interesting one. It's weird. It's kind of surreal to see this guy in a different uniform as I've become accustomed to Mitch Marner in the last 8 years. How long has he been with the Leaf? Yeah. I feel like it's been
Marner,
longer.
he's been here. I think he's been with the Leafs for 9 years.
Holy shit. That is longer than
Yep,
I.
it
My
is.
goodness. Yeah, so it is kind of weird. However, they weren't good in that period. Other than, I mean, they were good. It's just no playoff wins, and that's the big thing. And we gone over this many times about how we need a change. Um, at this day and age, yeah, Marner just wasn't getting it done, and we saw as the way he performed in the playoffs. It's not going to cut it. Not going to cut it for highest payroll in the NHL and one of the big teams, one of the bigger teams in the NHL. Oh, excuse me, with lots of spending money. And one of the biggest markets. So, and just one of the biggest fan bases too. That's another thing. It's like you gotta represent and you expect to be a winning team, and when you're not winning, things gotta change, and that's what happened. Thoughts, Ryan?
I've had my discrepancies with this Mr. Marner over the past few years and the playoffs specifically. It's just sad that the Leafs didn't get more for him. When we had the chance, and I'm glad we got Nick Woff, at least something from that deal before the July 1st deadline came up.
Yeah.
Nick was a solid player. He's not obviously going to be the same level as Marner. It's a 100-point player. It's very rare that you get 100-point players in the NHL, but I think getting at least something from it. It could have been just a sign. A sign by the Knights, and he could have just signed there. It couldn't have been a trade, wouldn't have been a trade and sign if it happened July 1st. So I'm glad we got something out of it, but it's a little disappointing. Marner actually could have stopped his no move clause in the trade deadline in March around that time, and could have easily went to Carolina and brought which could have brought Ranson over here, but he decided to keep it and held out and decided to sign with Vegas. So he obviously wanted to
Yeah,
go.
I heard that so I guess he wanted to sign with Vegas. Is that what it was? Because
I think
I
so.
I think
Yeah.
there was already like prior there had already been some engagement about that's happening. But from my understanding, it was not the Leafs. It wasn't Marner. Marner was happy to go. I heard he would have been happy to be traded. And because it had been happened a couple years in a row where he had heard his name in rumors of being traded for a piece, but that Rantanen deal, it really could have been something, and it really could have been something. But apparently, because it was going to be a three-way trade between Carolina, Vegas, and the Leafs, and I heard that Vegas and Carolina couldn't get the pieces together to complete that trade, and it was in place. It was ready to go. The Leafs had their pieces that they were going to give. They were going to give Marner, and Rantanen was going to come to the Leafs, but it just didn't work out, and would have been a huge deal. Would have been a huge trade, one of the biggest probably in NHL history, because that you have two giant people, giant players like Rantanen and Marner, and who else there could it have been? But um, that's what I heard. That was my understanding, and that just makes it a little bit more interesting. At least from that vantage point, at least we know that it wasn't Marner that was trying to just fuck the Leafs over. Like he was more than happy to be traded, and
I think the reason why he didn't go for it is because he also mentioned it in his press conference when he signed with Vegas. He originally said that he was going to go to Carolina instead of Vegas. He was planning to go in that trade. He was going to be traded like a one of one for Ranson, and Ranson would come here. Marner would go to Carolina. That was the deal. And then
yeah,
Vegas, I think it would have been like picks or money or something. I don't know any other players that were related to that, but he said during that time it was had to deal with it was family related that he didn't want to move, and I think his wife was having the baby or whatever around that time, so he wanted to stay in Toronto for the rest of the year. So I think that's the reason why he stayed. But it's just disappointing that we didn't get anything out of him. Get Didn't get anything from the trade other than a third liner. It's kind of
yeah,
disappointing in that aspect, but you know, while he was here, he was a fantastic player in the regular season. I've loved when he was a player here at certain moments, and didn't like when he was a player here at certain moments. But it is what it is, man. That's just business, right? So he wants to go to a place where he's not going to be the limelight of the city, right? He's not going to have as much
yeah.
attention, and Vegas is the perfect place for that because they in Vegas they do not care about hockey. Let's be real. They're not a hockey town. It may seem like that in the arena when they're in the playoffs, but no, they're not a hockey town. So I think it's good for him and his family to move there, and obviously he's getting the money that he wants. He's getting a $12 million contract, more than he got when he was with Toronto. Um, so good for him on that end, but uh, it's just sad that went out this way. That's all.
Do you think it makes sense why he was feels that he should have um why he feels like he needs a change? Because there's a comment that came out between Jack Eichel and excuse me, Marner, just talking about how they just feel like it was time for a change for that team. It was a time for a change for Marner, and I mean there are different circumstances. I like in the degree that Eichel's coming from one of the worst teams in NHL franchise history. And then the Leafs, one of the best teams in franchise history of all time, and a team that's is very, very big. But you kind of see that there were both sides were just very much in agreement in this, which is I think healthy. It's good. It's like it seems very mutual, which is always how you want it. But what do you think on his, talking about him needing a change?
I think he wanted to get away from Toronto. I think he wanted to get away from being the hometown kid. He wanted to have a different change of pace, like I mentioned, where he didn't want to have the limelight on him the whole time. He kind of wants like the idea behind like, walking in the street, and not being surrounded by people. And I think the Vegas is definitely the place for that, where he doesn't have to worry about, being hounded by, the press, or having to worry about the newspaper talking about him every single day, and in sports news and stuff. It's kind of gives him the idea that he'll be more laid back, and can focus more on his game rather than, worrying about the press. But I think that's all bullshit, in my opinion. If you want to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs, which he does want to, which he did want to, as a kid and growing up being his favorite team and whatever, you got to accept the fact that this is going to come with it, right?
Yeah.
And he dealt with it for a few years, and obviously things didn't go well. So I guess it does make him happy that he wants to do something else, right? Change it up a bit. And Vegas is a good team, man. They've made the playoffs. I think basically every single year they've been a franchise except once, and they've won a cup recently. They have experience on that team now. Added now with Marner, and he's playing with guys like Eichel and uh, players on that team who've experienced winning cups, and he's obviously a 100-point player. Eichel's basically won. They're a strong team, so good for him that he got to leave the place that he dreaded. So I guess good for him. I don't know. Just kind of pissed me off that he left on bad terms, but
Did he
it is what
though?
it is.
It doesn't feel like it was bad terms. It's like,
Well, in the media, they make it out to be, but
yeah, I don't think
I think he obviously does they obviously do the message of like, I love being here and whatever and
I think he
all
did.
that.
I don't think he regrets his time. Like he definitely doesn't regret. I don't think he's upset. Like I think it's just mutual. It's like you just need a change of scenery at times. It's like, yeah, you
Yeah.
get that. And it's probably I wouldn't be surprised if this dude fucking next year has a 110-point season and, scores career high in goals and then is fucking great in the playoffs, It's like it's happened to players before. Think of when Kessel went to Pittsburgh. He was great for them. They won two cups, didn't he? Like,
Yeah.
hopefully that doesn't happen because that fucking pissed me off, but it's more like, oh, so we're the problem then. Not Marner. At that point.
Yeah, yeah, that I well, multiple Leaf players have left here and immediately won cups. Like I remember when Bozak was on the Leafs for a long time and then he left and went to St. Louis, immediately wins a cup with St. Louis. You mentioned Kessel. Marner could be the next player to do that. So you never know, man. You never know, but I guess good for him. We can talk about signings here that the Leafs have gotten. Obviously, Tavares, which is we talked about. I don't think we talked about in the last podcast. I don't think it happened yet. But we did talk about it over text or whatever. I thought it was a great deal. 4 years, $4.3 million AAV. I think that was good. The only problem I have with it is the amount of years on the contract. I think it's a little much for a guy who's, 34, going to be 35 before the beginning of next season. We're going to be paying him $4 million when he's 39 years old. You know, do you think he's going to be scoring 35 goals every season? You know, he's going to have the production of 4 million a year. Who knows? But probably not because as usual, when you get older, you're going to decline unless you're uh, literally a god. So, uh, but I think it was a good deal. $4 million. I thought it'd be much more. I thought they at least pay him five, but I think they gave him the right amount of money, and he probably took a cut out of the paycheck because of the hometown discount, I guess you'd say. So it's good that he's back. I thought he had a great season last year. He played his best season since he first came here. So that's always good to see, and he'll be doing well. He played well in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm happy he's back. Um,
Yeah.
you got other guys like Matthias Maselli, from not Seattle, sorry, Utah. I think he'll be pretty decent on the Leafs. He only played 55 games last year, but he had 18 points, so I think he'll be okay. Probably a third or fourth line guy for the team, and uh, we also signed Michael Pezzetta from the Canadians. He played a lot of games last year and had 0 goals, 0 assists. So I don't know about that signing. I think we signed him to a minimum deal. I think it was like a 1 year, 2 year deal or something, and it's
Mm.
like 775K, like the minimum league minimum. So who knows?
Yeah,
We'll see about that.
can't really like you look at that everything with it's just like not like a grain of salt, I guess. It's like you look at it as and nothing special. You just can't look at it as like, oh, this is a great signing. It's these are the signings that you just hear about and you're just like, all right, whatever. That it's these are every team makes these signings. Hopefully there are still players out there, I feel like, that could either be traded or signed. Fuck. This is why you're the hockey guy. It's the guy from the Winnipeg Jets who's still a free agent. And he's
Trifley,
yeah. Would you
yeah,
want him?
100%,
Yeah,
100%. He's a goal scorer. That's what the Leafs need, right?
yeah.
Need players who can produce points. We also we mentioned Nicholas Waugh a few minutes ago. He had 4 points in 11 games in the playoffs. Last year had 31 points in 71 games. So he makes point. He gets points, but he's also not what Marner does. So, but it is what it is. At least he performs in the playoffs. At least he gets points. So.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Come next year, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure this team is a playoff team. You know, the defense will stay the same, and the defense was fantastic in the playoffs. I didn't mind the defense at all. With Riley apparently is on trade lookout. Apparently, a lot of like insiders are saying that he's a top target for other teams. For trades and stuff. I think he still has a year, I think,
Audrey
left on
was
his contract.
Audrey was another guy that was also
Yes, he's been looking to waive his contract and move to the Leafs, which I think would be great to bring him back.
I
I've
haven't
always liked Kadri. I've always liked Kadri, even though he's had some issues with, in the playoffs and in the past years when he was a Leaf, but I always liked Kadri. I never,
yeah, no, he's just a solid player all around. He's you like
yeah, he's 30 goal scorer last year. He played really well.
I don't
I
know
think
if
it would be
that's
great to bring him
I don't know
back.
if, yeah, that's gonna repeat itself, but if it either way, you still can't.
Yeah, we need everything. The Leafs need everything they can to bring back the production Marner brought in the regular season. So I think, Kadri would be great. And obviously, and I've talked to him a couple times at where I work. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. So I think it'd
Awesome.
be great to bring him back. Um,
The other
like
guy,
I mentioned with
sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to mention the defense again. We still have McCabe, Ekman Larson, Carlo, Benoit, all under contract. So they'll be all coming back next year, which is great. Big fans of all four of those guys. I thought they were great in the playoffs and the regular season. Um, we still have Hawk and Paw still on the team despite him being injured. Tanev still under contract for a couple more years, so that's great that he's coming back. And Morgan Riley, like I mentioned, he might be dealt. A lot of insiders are looking at him to be a top target for a team, so we'll see how that goes. And goaltender wise, no complaints at all. Stolars will be back next year, obviously, same with Wall, so that's obviously good to see. I personally, I think they're the best tandem, two goalie tandem in the league when both of them are healthy. Stolars obviously got injured in the second round, but um, I think they're the best goalie tandem in the league when they're both
Yeah,
healthy. So glad to have them both back.
they are. They are. It's and you're not looking at it as one goalie per se. It's like the best catcher duo in the league. You got like you can't be like,
Hmm.
yeah, fucking Cal Raleigh and who's their guy? Why am I forgetting his name? Mitch Garver.
Mitch Garver,
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, they're the best. They have the high most WAR combined. It's like, yeah, that's like saying like me and fucking Steven Spielberg have 4 Oscars combined. Like, get the fuck out of here.
right,
Like,
right.
so, but that's the thing. It's like that's the thing with the Leafs right now is like
they have together. It's like 1-2, either or. I'm happy with the way. Maybe preferably a little bit more Stolars just because of his. But I think Wool, no matter what, is still going to be great for you, especially
And
easy. Go
I don't
ahead.
want to cut you off, sorry, but I totally forgot we signed Matthew Nyes to a big contract, which is
Yes.
very much needed. Probably the best signing we have had this off season. Very much needed. Sign him for like 6 years for 7 million, but I think he's well worth it. Obviously he doesn't produce, the points in the regular season, but come playoff time, and he's just evolving. He's just getting better and better every year. I think he's well worth the money. 58 points last year in 78 games. I think he's well worth the money. One of the better young power forwards in the league right now. 22, only 22 years old, so he's still very young. Lots to go. So I think that was a great contract that the Tree Living made. So
No,
yeah, it's an exciting time. Obviously, Shanahan's gone. He's done. I think we already talked about that
I think we did.
uh, on a couple
The other
podcasts
guy I
ago.
was going to mention, I saw on the trade rumors of Eric Carlson. Thoughts?
That I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that deal. He's getting older,
He is.
and he wasn't very good in Pittsburgh, and a little overpay by Pittsburgh there. I don't know if that's the best idea for the Leafs to sign him. We already have a solid defensive core. I mean, he's great. He used to be great, 100-point defenseman. I mean, how can you not knock that? But I don't know if that's the best idea because he'd be looking for a lot of money, and I don't know if that's the best idea right now. So
No, yeah, I can I can agree with that. I don't know, but maybe 1 year something like have him on the team for 1 year. That'd be great. Nice. But other than that, it's like I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, no. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, that's pretty much it that I have for Leafs talk, my friend.
hmm Yeah, there's not much to go off of. It's the off season, so not much has really been happening other than the big trades and signings. So all we can wait till is September, and that's when the real talking begins with preseason and how the line's going to be shaping up and uh, how Brew Bay is going to come back after a pretty solid first season with the Leafs. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, man. Yep. All right. Let's move on to our favorite of all time, the great Toronto Blue Jays. My goodness, it's starting to feel like 2015 again. We missed a lot. Last series, we can maybe forget a little bit, but because they lost the fucking Athletics. However, they've got lucky in that fucking they've got voodoo magic in that Sacramento facility that they're working in.
That I want to just talk about that first game really quick. Oh my, they could have easily got swept.
But they
That
didn't.
first game, that first game was horrible. Like they were up 7-3 with two outs, with was it one out in the bottom of the ninth, and Hoffman easily could have blown that. He was very close to, but he got bailed out. He got bailed out big time. But yeah, we I think the last time we talked was like mid-June, late mid-June about this team, and ever since then, when it hit July, they started to get hot, real
They are.
hot.
They are a
They
hot.
were they were unbelievable at the beginning of July. Um, at one point winning 10 straight. There was it tied for their biggest win streak?
Yep.
Franchise history, or was it their biggest?
They have won. It's the highest is 11. 11 wins in a row for the Blue Jays. They got to 10. However, that's still really fucking awesome and really exciting. It's just fun. I think there's still some things that need to be addressed with this team because I don't think it's fully sustainable. You look at the first half, like you can't complain about being in first place in the division, um, and being, on the cusp of possibly winning a division, being the potential. We have about 70, no, less than 70 games. I think we have like 60 something games left, 68, I want to say. And it's starting to get to that point. You got the rest of July left, and then you got dog days of August, which I just know are going to be fucking brutal. But if they can pick up a couple of players, a couple of starters, maybe even just a bunch of good bullpen arms, this could be fucking great for this team. Could be huge for the Blue Jays, and just it just gives you a little extra thump in that clubhouse, when you bring on a guy like you can understand when the Leafs brought in Ryan O'Reilly, that just added this little like fuck yeah, like I love this guy. This guy's a dog, like no matter what, and he just like plays the game a different way. When the Blue Jays in 2015 they bring in David Price, Tulo, that team ends up going on like another 11 game win streak. They're just destroyed. They're
Right.
boys of summer. They're called. It's pretty awesome. So I think that it's not just necessarily an impactful bat that's going to win you more games. I think what's also going to impact is just how that player is in the clubhouse, because you got to really consider that when it comes to trading for a player, and how that just helps out the clubhouse, and that's something that excites me, man. It excites me. But as I was saying before, they still have things to address. Vladdy has still he's slowed down a little bit, and he's got to be better. If they're gonna make it to the playoffs, that dude has to carry them a little bit more than he has. Because right now they're relying on guys that you can't expect to carry you for the rest of the way. If they do, then that's great. That's incredible. Those are players that need to be playing every day. But that's just from, sample size, it's not going to be sustainable. I just don't expect it to. But you have guys that can do that year round, like Vladdy and Bo, who are guys that have played 162 games. They know what it's like. They know the grind of this game. So that's my expectation. But you also have veterans, Nathan Lucas has been stepping it up. Kirk has been stepping it up. Addison Barger's been fucking great. And I think he's going to be a player that's going to be really, really impactful the rest of this way. I could see him having some really, really important games. But um, before we go on, let's talk about that series against the Yankees real quick, because that was one of the most enjoyable times of baseball I have ever watched. And it's too bad you're not a bigger Jays fan, and I hope that you are even more now, because how can you not love that? Fuck the Yankees. Like honestly, just fuck the
Yeah.
Yankees.
And I think what made me even bigger of a fan recently, this win streak, uh, was, when that, I think was his name, Michael Kay. He's the announcer for the Yankees, when he made those comments about, oh, the Jays aren't a first place team. They're not a team that can win a division. And then after that, I can't remember what his name is.
Jimmy Campbell.
Something, yeah, Jamie Campbell,
We
when
all know him
he
well.
when he brought up the broom on on television. I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of cocky move when, it's, beginning of July, doing those gestures, but nonetheless, I thought it was, pretty cool to see the passion that the team has had. A team has this year, and despite the lineup being, not as, flashy compared to other teams in the league that are at our record, that we've been playing at this year. I think it's this locker room is definitely, uh I don't know what the word is. I think it's definitely sparked something, and everyone wants to contribute. And like you mentioned, guys like, Nathan Lucas and Miles Straw, all these guys that, not, I wouldn't say they're not unknown, but guys that, not up until this year were, uh you know
Impacting.
not like big name guys. Yeah, not big name guys that are, contributing in big ways. Obviously, Addison Barger, like you mentioned, has been fantastic. Big contributor to this team.
And
Ernie Clement stepped
Unk
up in a
too.
big way. What?
Unk's been great as well. You can't You can't
George
forget.
Springer. Yeah,
Yeah,
George
you
Springer has
know
been
it. You know it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
George Springer's been very good. He was AL. Was he AL Player of the Week when he was playing when he played the Yankees that 4 game set? He was fantastic. Guy loves playing against the Yankees, man. He loves destroying their hopes, which is awesome. Uh,
Definitely should
like
have
you meant,
been a definitely should
All
have been an
Star.
all-star. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Really,
He was
really
a big
overrated.
snub in the AL. Um, yeah, there's like you mentioned, there's still some things we can work on. Obviously, the bullpen in past couple games has been not very good. Like I mentioned with Hoffman in that first game of the Athletic series, that was shocking to watch. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, this team definitely is definitely stronger than what we've seen um, in the past couple years
It's just the
up
comebacks.
to
It's
this
like
point.
the big moments for these games. That game, that Canada Day game, it just feels so good. It
It
just
was a lot. It was a lot of fun watching that game. A lot of fun. And my dad, he's not even a big. He's not well. He watches. When the Jays are good, he likes to watch them.
fucking
He's like,
bam.
isn't the Jays? He was like tonight. He was like, he's like, are the Jays on tonight? He was like excited to watch the Jays, and it was really cool to hear that. And he's like, I'm like, nah, it's All-Star break, so they're not playing. He's like, oh, okay. So it's good when my dad is paying attention to the Jays. It's a good sign that they're playing well when my dad is somewhat paying attention. So
Yeah.
yeah, this team's great, and obviously Max Scherzer coming back from injuries, had a couple good starts
Yeah.
coming back. He's been
It's
he's
just
been playing
awesome
pretty
to see.
good.
It's awesome to see a guy like Max fucking Scherzer just like pitch for your team.
Hmm.
It's just crazy. That
Yeah,
dude's
it's
so
great.
old and like playing for the Jays. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and he's playing really well, and since coming back from injuries, had a couple
Like,
of
yeah,
good
he's playing
starts,
okay.
and
Yeah.
he's also great in the locker room for the younger guys who with inexperience, like talking to the bullpen guys or some of the other starters. Um, giving his advice. Even to Kirk, I remember watching the Athletic series. He was talking to Kirk a lot, um, about what to do against certain batters and stuff. Like I was listening a lot to the commentators, and you know they were saying like, oh, this is what they talk about in these conversations with the catchers and what they could do better next time. When they come up against certain batters or different hitters, different type of hitters and stuff. So it's really interesting, seeing a guy like Scherzer talk to younger guys and giving them the advice and experience that he has from all the years he's been in the league. So this team definitely has a different vibe than past years.
Yes.
There was kind of that vibe with in the first year of the wild card teams, like those 2 years with Teoscar and Gurriel. I thought that team was going to be good. I kind of have that same feeling. It's also got a little 2015 vibe to it, which is great. Like
And I hope they're not. Yeah,
these guys
there's
that contribute, but they're not big names like Chris Colabello or Ben
yeah,
Revere, like
yeah.
those guys, I feel like that kind of vibe is
Michael
coming back
Saunders,
to.
Justin Smoke. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are coming back to feeling very similar to that. So I like that vibe to this team, and there's still the superstars of you got Vladdy, you got Bo. You know, you got Gosman and Barrios pitching for you. So yeah, it's a great vibe this year, and frankly, I'm glad. I still have yet to go to a Jays game this year. I don't know when that's going to happen, but we got to go to a Jays game and watch these boys play live.
I'm so down.
I know you've been to a couple already this year, but
I've been
I got
to
to
a
get out
couple.
to one
I've
again.
been to maybe three, two or three, I think. So,
Right.
yeah, my dad and I went to a couple, and then I went to one with my buddies a little bit.
Nice.
But it's fun, and then I'm going next week with my work, so that'll be also fun. Doing
Oh wow, that's cool.
9 beers, 9 hot dogs, nine.
You're doing the 999 challenge.
You think I could do it?
I don't know. I've seen multiple people attempt it, and I've seen a couple people do it, but I've heard it's very tough.
But you've seen me eat before. You know I can eat.
Yes, very fast too.
Yeah,
Very fast. You're a fast eater.
I am. I know. It's actually
Which could help you, but
like
also could be a
it could help me. It could
disadvantage.
also, yeah, it could also.
Yeah.
I don't pace myself.
The mixture between the beer and the hot dogs could be. I think it's mainly the bread. I think the bread is the reason why people lose these challenges. I think the mixture of the bread and the beer doesn't go very well.
No, I don't think it does. And I'm. It's just like it's so much beer too. 9 beers is fucking crazy. Like that's like
Yeah, if you complete those 9 beers in a full game, the game's also been cut down too. It's not as long as baseball games used to be. It's usually around. It's like a hockey game now. It's like 2.5 hours ish, depending on what the game's like. It's usually like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So it's 9 beers, 2 hours.
hopefully there's
It's just the
uh,
add on of the hot dogs
no,
that's
what
tough,
you
right?
want is those slow fucking innings where they have like a pitching change and then you
Right.
got like lots of runs being scored or like just like yeah, just like walks. Walks is where it's at. You want walks. That way you get
Maybe a couple dugouts get
heated.
cleared. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be so I'd be so happy. Be
You
so
need you need a
happy.
lot. You need a couple things going in your favor in
Yeah,
order
if there's
to
a pitching
complete
duel
that.
going on, I'm screwed. Like if the game's like if you got like Gosman going like 8 shutty and like I don't know,
Oh yeah, you're not
who are we
completing
facing
that.
the Yankees and then like fucking Max Fried like going 8 shutty or something like that.
Right. Yeah, you're not completing the challenge. It's got
Like,
to be it's got to be a nice slow game like it used to be
yeah,
before the pitch clock.
but I love the pitch clock though. So
Oh, that's yeah, easily one of the best inventions. Oh, I wanted to ask you a question about this too.
yeah,
The All-Star game just happened last night.
yeah.
Was it last night? Yeah. What are your thoughts on the ABS system? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like if I think that the ABS system is not it's not the worst thing in the world. If I'm under the like thought process of you either do no robots whatsoever, no ABS, or you go full in every pitch you call, every pitch that
Right,
the umpire is told what if it's a ball or a strike. I don't
right.
want because I still think you need umpires. You still need umpires. Like you got to break up fights. You got to break up arguments. You got
Mm-hmm.
to there's just
100%.
going to be stuff that you need umpires for that aspect of the game. But there's nothing wrong with having an umpire having something in his ear tell him ball strike, ball strike, ball strike so he knows. And that way, and because their system's fast enough that can tell you right away if it's a ball or a strike. They don't need to wait. It's not going to make it last longer. The game lasts longer. Maybe like 10 minutes, not even. Um, so that's my thought process. It's you can't just don't do the halvesies, where you just like give, let them call it because that's takes too much
Yeah.
time. It's cool
Yeah,
though when it does
you
happen
either do
because
it or you go full out,
yeah.
right? You can't go half and half. I completely agree with you on that. I think it's interesting. I thought it was, I think they implemented it in uh the minor leagues. Is
Yes.
that right? They've
But
they've
it's in
brought
minor
they've
leagues.
introduced that. But I think it was pretty funny, seeing a couple of, the big dogs in the MLB get exposed last night trying to challenge it and them screwing up. I thought that was kind of funny. Um, but yeah, like, when it comes to like playoffs and stuff, like, imagine it's game 7 in the World Series challenge, literally like a centimeter.
That's fun.
That's could cost you the World Series. It's just,
Yeah.
that the thought behind that is very interesting to me. So, um, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Are they introducing it next year? Is that what's going
That's
on?
the
Yeah,
plan.
okay. But not playoffs though, right? They're not doing
Don't know
playoffs.
playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah, they should not do it in the playoffs, I don't think. I think they should just introduce it little by little, and then if it doesn't go well, then take it off. If it does go well, then potentially playoffs. But the playoffs is a
Yeah.
whole different animal for
I think
baseball because
they,
that's a
but I
bit
think
that's a
they
big
really should.
technical aspect to baseball. Is the playoffs is a different vibe and different
I just think
atmosphere, right?
I just think technology is advanced enough that they don't need fucking people to be like, calling balls and strikes. I saw CB Buckner call a game. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Nobody should
Right.
not be doing that. And ugh, it just pisses me off. Like, yeah, like it is annoying as
Well,
fuck.
yeah, obviously Angel Hernandez was obviously, thank God he's retired now, but he was the leading reason why we have this now, right? Is because he just screwed up games because he
He
wanted
didn't
to.
care. It's like
He did not care at all. No.
just yeah, horrendous. But
But I have seen this year there's been a lot less bad call making. I
mm,
I feel
yeah.
by umpires in
A
the
lot of the
past
old
couple
people.
years.
It's a lot of the old umpires that are just terrible.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yeah, older guys need to go. But I haven't seen as much as I have, past years. I feel like every single game there used to be a problem with calls and stuff, and
mhm.
I feel like it's kind of died down a bit since this ABS system has come in. They're like, "Oh shit, we actually have to do our job now." So they're actually doing well. So, yeah, but I completely agree with you on the fact that they have to either go full out with this or they just don't do it.
Yeah.
I feel like the half and half's kind of a stupid way to go after it, but definitely interesting. It's definitely an interesting thing to add into baseball.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I can't argue with you. But all right, well let's move on then. Let's discuss what shall we discuss? Let's talk about let's do our top five. How about that? Let's finish it
Okay.
off with top five. Let's do that. All right. So today we will be doing top five cartoon characters of all time. We're doing a ranking. Last time was about a long time ago, too long ago. Who is going to go first?
We did not post that top five, courtesy of me, and you, because
I
we
didn't
didn't
post
post
it.
the last podcast. Usually I like to post the top five after the podcast has been out. Um, so we will just choose a number between one and two. So you can choose.
Okay, two.
Let me pull up the random number generator. It is one. So I will be first pick.
All right.
Okay. This is a tough one. Cartoon character, there's a lot. There's a lot of good ones here to choose from. I think this could go either way, just because there's so many. Um oh, before we start picking, I have I have a restriction onto this list. We cannot add superheroes.
Okay,
No superheroes to the list. Has to be, started as a cartoon.
hmm?
Comic book character. Yeah, you can't really do superheroes. Okay. Number one. I will go with, I think he's the most iconic cartoon character, and that is Bugs Bunny.
All right.
Big Looney Tunes guy when I was a kid. Um, Bugs Bunny was obviously the star of the show, so we'll go with Bugs at number one. Well, we can relate it back to baseball. The baseball bit. The baseball episode. I don't know if you can really call it episode. Do we call them episodes? Like, Looney Tunes. That was that like
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
episode? Yeah, the baseball one where he's the
Yes.
one man team. Yeah, I love that episode. So I'll go Bugs Bunny number one.
All right. My number one pick is Eleanor from the Chipettes, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Um, she's so bad, and she's hilarious. She's funny, and yeah, no, Eleanor from the Chipettes, number one.
You're ridiculous, man. Uh,
All right,
okay.
your turn.
All right, number two. I have I thought you were gonna pick him number two, but I go with SpongeBob number two.
Ooh, boring.
Boring.
I
What's
mean,
boring? Nothing is
all I gotta
boring about
say,
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, bro. If I was working with SpongeBob, it'd be a mess, bro. All those holes on him, bro. It's dangerous.
Ah. All right. What's your second pick?
I think okay. I'm actually gonna. Okay, I'll stop. I'll relax a little bit.
No,
Smurfette.
you can pick whoever you want.
Smurfette is my number two pick. She just she's kind of voluptuous with it, and yeah, she seems nice and fun to hang around. The only girl of the Smurfs, Smurfette. Yeah.
Smurfette
Right
at number
now,
two. Okay. All right. Number three. I have another actually no, this is probably the most iconic. Actually, okay. I will go Charlie Brown at number three.
good on.
Iconic, great Christmas special, great Halloween Halloween special. A lot of good about Charlie Brown and the old Snoopy. So
Hmm.
go with him at number three.
All right, I will go with. Let's see. I'll go with Lola Bunny as my number three pick of cartoon characters of all time. Um, yeah, enough said. Like, um, she can eat my carrot any day.
All right, number four.
You got a lot of editing to do, bro. All right.
Number four. Hmm.
Hmm.
Lots to choose from. Lots to choose from. I will go. I will go with Pikachu at number
Okay.
four. My favorite starter Pokemon in Indigo League. Underrated anime. Does not get talked about enough.
Yeah. It's all right. All right. My number four pick. I'm gonna go with Scooby Doo, the classic.
Yep, that's a good pick. He's gonna be my next one, I think. It's a good one. Good pick. All right. Number five for me. I'm surprised you haven't picked him yet. I'm gonna go with one of the Simpsons. I'm gonna go with Bart. I'm gonna go with Bart Simpson.
Bart Simpson.
Yes, Bart. I'm gonna go with Bart. You know, he's a bit of a character. Get into a lot of trouble. Um,
Late to him.
I feel like he's a little no, I don't relate to him, but I think it's just you know, he's a fun guy. He's a fun kid. There's a lot of stupid shit, which is funny and gets a lot of laughs out of the audience. So I'm gonna go with Bart at number five.
All right. My next pick will be okay. Who was it? You kind of took one of them. Oh, Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin, all
Mm,
time the
yeah,
goat,
that's a good one. Good one.
hilarious, so
Good
funny.
show. Good show.
Guy, best.
Good show. Good character. Okay. We'll do honorable mentions. I think we
Sure.
should. There's a lot to choose from.
Okay.
I'll stick with the SpongeBob theme, and I will go with his partner in crime. I will go with Patrick.
Okay.
He's just too funny, man. I can't leave him off the list. Too many good moments with him and SpongeBob and Squidward and the gang.
Yeah. No,
Love me some Patrick.
good choice. All right, my honorable mention. I'm gonna go with Elma Fudd. Elma Fudd, hilarious. One of the
Mhm.
funniest in the Looney Tunes gang. He's got that goofy voice, and yeah, I don't know. Some when I was a kid, I always just thought he was like so funny, like just a good character.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Like, what's a rabbit hunting season? The one hunting season with him and Daffy Duck,
Wubbis.
him Bugs and Daffy Duck. That's iconic. Looney Tunes episode, iconic.
Season. What? Whammy season. I'm trying. I can't do the impression.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing. Yeah, no, very, very
Good, interesting list from you. From the first,
thanks.
from 1 to 6. I feel like mine is stronger.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, in my opinion. I feel confident in my list.
I don't know.
Let me just say these lists again. So my list, I got Bugs Bunny, SpongeBob, Charlie Brown, Pikachu, Bart Simpson, and Patrick Star. You have Eleanor from the Chipettes, Smurfette, Lola Bunny, Scooby Doo, Peter Griffin, and Elmer Fudd, rounding up the honorable mention.
Oh,
Great list. Great, no, no, great list. Great list.
thank you, thank you. Uh, God.
All
So
right. You want to you want to wrap it up?
sure, yeah, I'll wrap it up.
Uh,
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Bleeding Blue podcast. It's happy to be back. Brian is gonna be the goat, take over a little bit of editing for me for next couple of weeks. But yeah, so it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna be back at it again with the pod every week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you. Love all the support. And yeah, have a good one. Remember to like, subscribe on the TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We are on all of those platforms. Cheers.